Hi team, it's MPops here from MPops Art School. I'm a primary school teacher and an artist, here to share my art knowledge with you. We ready? Welcome to Drawing 2 video. In our last lesson, we looked at tracing being a great technique to use, especially if you've just started drawing. However, if you want to move on from tracing, there's a really great technique that we're going to learn about today, and that is the grid technique. So for today's video, we're going to delve into the fascinating world of grid-based drawing techniques. We'll discover how artists throughout history have used grids to create stunning pictures. Let's get started. Let's start by introducing what grid technique is. A grid is a framework of intersecting lines that divides an image into smaller sections. I use grid work when I start drawing out my paintings. As you can see here, I like to be extra detailed and I have some diagonals, but usually your horizontal and vertical lines are all you need. Horizontal, vertical. When you use the grid method, it helps us break down a picture into smaller and more manageable sections that we can reproduce. It's a step up from tracing. We're using our own eye to reproduce what we can see with a grid. Now, throughout the centuries, many artists have used this technique to achieve precision and accuracy in their drawings and paintings. In fact, grid techniques have a fascinating history that dates all the way back to ancient Egypt. Picture this. The ancient Egyptians wanted their art to be perfectly proportioned and balanced, so they ingeniously divided their canvas into squares or rectangles using grid lines. They achieved this by dipping strings in red paint and carefully placing them on the walls. These eyes acted as guides, helping them create art with perfect proportions and balanced compositions. I find it really amazing that all the way back there, thousands of years ago, the Egyptians were using grid technique to get their work spot on. Now, let's fast forward to the Renaissance in the 15th century. This was a time when artists were obsessed with perfecting their drawings and paintings to look realistic. They came up with this genius idea called linear perspective. We'll talk more about perspective in a later video. They imagined the canvas as a window, and they used special rules and tricks to make their artwork look like it had depth and distance. One artist who was a real master of these techniques was Albrecht Dürer. In 1506, he wrote a book called Treatise of Measurement, where he shared his ideas. One of the things he talked about was the draftsman's net, which you can see here. It was like a wooden frame with a grid made of black threads. Artists could look through this frame and copy what they saw onto a piece of paper with a grid marked on it. This technique worked perfectly, helping them create detailed and accurate drawings. You can see Dürer's dedication to perspective and precise proportions when you look at his paintings. A painting like this called The Large Piece of Tuff. Isn't it fascinating? I love it. It's possible that he used the grid method to prepare his sketches to plan out the composition and achieve those perfect proportions and perspective. Look at the detail. It's no wonder he's considered one of the great masters of art. I will always try and talk about my favourite artists when I can, so let's look at Vincent. Vincent expressed his admiration for Dürer's grid work and shared his adaptation of it. He constructed a simple wooden frame, forming a kind of grid pattern. By looking through his frame, he could visualize the scene and accurately transfer it into his canvas. The perspective frame helped him achieve precise proportions and perspectives in his paintings, capturing the essence of his subjects with remarkable accuracy. It's great to see how artists throughout history have built upon each other's ideas. Finally, let's fast forward to the modern era and discover the incredible work of an artist named Chuck Close. Close is known for his extraordinary portraits. He starts with a photograph and overlays a grid on it, dividing the image into smaller sections like a puzzle. He meticulously recreates each section, stroke by stroke, until a mesmerizing portrait emerges. He's known for portraying people from lots of diverse backgrounds, and it's really lovely to see. Okay team, so our activity for drawing 2 is to create a drawing using the grid method. And you'll find everything you need in the lesson plan and activity sheet that you'll find on my website. We'll be taking inspiration from one of Vincent's incredible drawings. By using this picture, we'll continue our journey of mastering mark making while also learning the technique of the grid method. And for our amazing patrons, there's an exclusive Draw With Me video where I'll guide you through the whole activity step by step. Bye!